Welcome to the Teeny Tinkers channel. I make ball jointed doll and craft related content.
I know I'm probably late to the trend, but I saw something and fell in love.
My TikTok For You page has been filled with Melanie Martinez Portals videos, reactions, makeup, and cosplays. And I'm wondering, how can I get in on this?
Well, you guessed it. The answer is a doll customization.
I've seen some people making their own Portals dolls and they start from scratch, and that's super cool and I love that for them. But I'm going to work with what I've got today because I have 10,000 projects going. I recently unboxed this baby from Butterberry Dolls. Is she not the most precious? She has this faceplate and this faceplate, and the ears are not exactly right for Melanie Martinez Portals, but I do think that they will work in this instance, and also they're movable. So like, I don't know, I just love how expressive they are. So without further ado, let's turn this sweet little baby into a Melanie Martinez inspired BJD. Let's go. All right, so I've put the faceplate on that I don't plan on using for the Melanie Martinez doll. I figure if I want to use one of the faceplates without modding it, I'm probably going to use the one with the closed eyes or the smaller eyes to give me more space to work with, aka this one. But we'll deal with that later. For now, I am entering my own personal hell. And for fans of this channel, or people who've been around, you'll know that that is wig making. I am not great at it. But I also haven't tried it in a hot minute. So I know I'm gonna be making a green wig. So I grabbed a green knit fabric with like a bit of a 4-way stretch. It's not too stretchy, so it should stay and stiffen up nicely. I also have some cling wrap, and I grabbed Aileen's tacky glue, but I do also think I'm going to do the initial layer with hot glue. This way I don't have to wait 48 hours to be able to start the wig, which is honestly the part I hate the most. I'm also leaving the ears on because I definitely want them to be able to move around the wig. So I want to make sure that I'm not messing with the range of motion, because honestly the ears are so cute. I need them to keep moving. So the first thing I'm going to do is just wrap this head in a couple layers of cling wrap. Get the plastic wrap on and snug-ish to the head. It doesn't have to be perfect, to be honest. All right, glue gun is on and warming up. And in the meantime, I'm going to grab my knit fabric, and having too much will just get in the way. And make it like quasi tight, I guess. And I'm pulling it down far enough in the back that it will get some coverage on her head. And it's like basically to her nose in the front. I added a double layer of hot glue, pulling the glue across and down. I like hot glue for wig caps because they stay quite flexible once cooled. I used a plastic paintbrush for this, but I'm gonna be honest, the hot glue absolutely turned this paintbrush into a rubber spatula, but it ended up working out really well. The wefts for this wig are made of yarn. I honestly think I'm gonna get some synthetic or viscose fibers to use in the future because brushing out yarn is actually the worst thing ever. I used a dowel to hold my yarn strands while I brushed them. I tend to brush pretty aggressively because hundreds and hundreds of brush strokes really wear on you. So I tried the pastel green, also a really dark forest green, and then I did a mix of both. All of these yarns are 100% acrylic, and they're all in the same weight as well. When I was brushing, I immediately saw that the pastel brushed out much nicer and much more easily, so I scrapped the darker color entirely. Pastel Melanie, it is. Also, I know this looks like a lot, but you always need so much more yarn than you think you're gonna need because most of it, yes, most of it, gets lost in brushing. The large amount here made me a really thin wig, which I actually prefer. And this is the yarn that was lost. It's ridiculous. Once everything's brushed out, I straighten the scraggly locks with this hair straightener, courtesy of the early 2000s. It used to straighten my emo bangs, but now it's making yarn wigs. I don't know, the circle of life or something.
I used the Aleene's tacky glue I had to make the wefts. Hot glue dries way too thick and way too fast. So it's a little at a time. Glue, yarn, spread, glue, spread, over and over and over. I did this on a piece of thin plastic, which makes it easier to separate the wefts later. I ended up making over 2 full rows of wefts, so maybe about 15 wefts total. I know some people do itty bitty wefts or really small strands. I make my wefts like long hair extension pieces that you would just clip in a whole row instead of individual pieces, but then again, I'm definitely not an expert. Let's put these wefts to the side for 4 hours to dry. I remove and trim the now dried wig cap and make sure to leave room for her adorable little ears to wiggle. I love how this cap is still so flexible. You can do what I did and just put it back on the doll's head and sketch out the lines you would like it to follow. Then use your X-Acto knife or your scissors to trim away the excess. I think the fit of this is much nicer, and it allows for her ears to wiggle and for the wefts to come out in front of her ears. Hey everybody, it's time for Doll of the Week. This week's Doll of the Week comes from Padoodle Pie Dolls. They have been sharing adorable photos of Echo, who they've named Ava, alongside some of their own sculpts. My heart is so happy seeing these photos. Also, Padoodle Pie Dolls sent me a couple of teensy dolls to hang out with my own sculpts. Stay tuned to the end to see them. If you would like to be considered for Doll of the Week, don't forget to share photos using hashtag TeenyTinkersDolls over on Instagram. Back to the video. I've been looking forward to this face-up. The Portals creature has 4 eyes, and I really don't want to mod this cute little face. So I draw on the eyes. I started my face-up, unusually for me, with white pencil to make the whites of the second set of eyes. From there, I line the eyes in pink. I smudge this out with a wet brush, and it helps define the eye shape for now. I also pencil in the basic eye shape and colors, blending with the same wet brush. I based the eyes off of a set I'd already made that were a lovely bright blue. With the eyes blocked in, I can go in with my undertones and blushing as usual. I like to start with primary colors and add more complex colors in as I go through the layers. And note that I do at least 3 layers for a face-up, 5 in this one, but I don't always show where I'm sealing. The makeup was of course inspired by Melanie, but also by a cosplayer called Endy_Martha over on Instagram and TikTok. Honestly, an insanely talented human, and I love the heavy blushing they did, and leaned into that direction as well. For line work, I whip out my gouache paints and nail art brushes. I add details like eyelids, liner, lashes, highlights, and more. I honestly super recommend these paints. They are so totally, definitely, absolutely worth the price in my opinion. I can finally see the eyes coming to life. They are looking more and more realistic with each detail. I use a mixture of white gouache and white chalk pastels to add the highlights to the eyelids, the inner corners of the eyes, and the tip of the nose. I find this really helps the face-up pop. Also, by the 3rd layer of this face-up, the pink is exploding, and I am loving the effect. I'm loving how rosy and fun this looks, especially on the nose. It looks like a bunny. Okay, well, that was 4 hours and 3 minutes. Now we can add the wefts to the wig cap. I use hot glue to lay the wefts, which thickens the cup, but also quickens the dry time. Is it looking scraggly? Yes. Is it my first wig in over a year? Also yes. It will look better in the end, I swear. Right now, it's giving troll under the bridge. I wish the wig could have stayed this long, but the second brushing thinned the ends and it desperately needed a trim. I will say though, as scraggly as it looks right now, this pastel mint is so beautiful against this light pink skin tone. I'm honestly in love. The glue wasn't quite set enough to use the brush again, but I did use a comb to pick out some of the larger tangles. And I can free the other face from this plastic nightmare. The horror movie is over. I'm sorry, Estelle. Here's a quick try-on of the wig before I brush it into another dimension. Alright, clothes. The Portals monster seems to be mainly nude in bodysuits or itty-bitty bikini type clothes. I wanted to give mine a more casual outfit with the same earthy elf vibes. I chose brown and green fabrics with little hints of pink. I decided to make a pair of tights, a wrap skirt, which is a fluffy and soft green wrap skirt, a tube top in a stretchy brown knit, and an oversized cardigan. I don't really use patterns here, I just sort of eyeball cut the pieces, and they fit. The pieces I'm making here in this video are relatively simple to make and based on things I make a lot, especially the tights, which are just basically leggings with socks, which is a thing I make all the time. Not the leggings with socks, leggings and socks. So it did come together in about 2 hours, which is really not a long time for a full outfit, especially when you're considering there's 4 full pieces here. I do need to learn to make shoes so I can make custom footwear for these outfits. To make up for this, I did add some more details into the cardigan and top with some small embroidery patches, sleeves, and lace. I just went ahead and attached all of this with hot glue because I know that these pieces aren't going to get a lot of play. I'm not selling them and they're basically just going to be for display, so I'm not worried about anything falling off. Also, there was no way in heck I was going to be sewing on plastic leaves. That sounds awful. Honestly, I wish I had more kinds of flowers and vines I could have attached to this cardigan, but I'm really trying to use what I actually already have in my possession without buying new craft supplies, because I'm currently drowning in craft supplies, so I really should use those first. Also, I think it turned out great anyways. With that, she's ready. Let's take a look. I wish I could use Melanie's music here without a copyright issue, but I still think she looks adorable. She's definitely on the cutesy and casual side of this creature, but this doll was inspired by Melanie. It's not an exact Melanie doll. I initially took all this video inside, but I realized she really needed to be outside in the sunshine, in the grass, in the leaves. To me, she's giving if Melanie Martinez, the Dark Crystal, and a pastel rainbow got together and had the cutest little baby BJD. Also, I wanted to show the 2 dolls I got from Padoodle Pie Dolls with her. They are fun fantasy creatures too and make perfect dolls for Estelle, Melanie, Mistelanie. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I know 4 eyes isn't for everyone, but I actually find her super endearing and unique. Thank you again so much to Butterberry Dolls for her. If you haven't already, please check out Butterberry Dolls on Instagram and keep an eye out for pre-orders. If you're already subscribed to my channel, thanks so much for subscribing. And if you're new here, I hope you like the content and consider subscribing. As always, I hope you have a fantastic day.